And I think we are live.
It's alive.
It's alive. It's alive.
I beat him to it.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. I want to take just a moment because I don't know if there's an ad maybe running right as we're starting to go live here.
Let's make sure.
I just want to make sure because I'm watching here too. I am checking and just making sure it's loading on my side.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Yes, thank you all.
We appreciate it so much.
All right. Hey, do we already have 45 people in here?
Welcome,
everybody.
Welcome so much, guys.
Thank you.
This is good. This is just a really fun live. It's celebrating a milestone for the three of us, for Gary, myself, and William.
Just want to make
Picker Road.
Gary, are you seeing that we're live?
I am seeing. And hello, everybody.
Hello.
He's just not on camera. There's just not enough room.
There we go. We are live on mine too. Just wanted to make sure.
Excellent.
All of us are here celebrating.
Even Rhodey.
1 million views on our channel. Thank you all so much. Hey, wait a second.
It's unbelievable. I can't believe it.
We've got a really nice backdrop there.
Oh yeah.
But this is time to celebrate. Let's do a little bit better.
Yay! Fireworks.
We have 1 million views on this channel in 18 months. Oh my goodness. John is saying, way to go, entire crew. We've got
Kathleen, Sheila,
thank
Barb,
you. Violet. Thank you all so much for your comments. So first
Susan,
of all, 54 of you in the room watching,
Gail,
59. We're up to
Violet,
60 now. Please,
John,
thumbs up.
Melissa,
give a thumbs up. There's a little thumbs up there. It's totally free. Doesn't cost you anything. We've got 27, 28. I feel like I'm doing the telethon.
Oh, look at the hearts. Thank you, guys. Gina.
What that does
Susan.
is that tells Google and YouTube and everybody that you're enjoying what you're seeing on our channel. And it just means so much to us that you've been supporting us.
Well, we couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah, so many of you have been with us from the first video, and that really means everything.
We're just 3 kids with a dream.
And now 4. Look at the family you get along the way, right?
We started 18 months ago. And in that time, we have been around the world and around the country, and we've taken you right along with us. You guys have joined the journey.
Truly.
And it means the world to us, and we are all just getting started.
Indeed.
There's so much more to come, but we had to take a moment and acknowledge this milestone that a million views, 1 million people, maybe some viewed more than once, but basically a million people cared to watch what we were doing and to join in with us.
To click that button and put on a video and enjoy it. I mean,
it means the world to us, and we want to give a heartful thank you. We really do.
So let's go all the way back to the beginning. Let's talk about this.
Oh my goodness.
We have all been picking. I mean, I've been picking my entire life. I was obviously inspired by my wonderful parents to become a picker. They've been picking for most of their lives.
Absolutely.
It's really a generational thing. It kind of goes back all the way to grandparents.
Well, certainly, yes, your grandfather, certainly. Someone sent me an email the other day and said, I know you guys have had your channel for so many months, but how long have you actually been picking? Well, all my life, basically since I was a child. My father worked in New York City. He was an executive on Park Avenue, but his avocation was antiquing and collecting. And on summers and on weekends, we would go up through New England, through the old back roads, through barns and antique stores, the real deal, and find all these fabulous antiques and all sorts of things, really, rusty, not just all polished up. And it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot early on, and we traveled a lot. So that was a lot of fun. It really was. And that got me started in it, really. And as I grew up and stuff, I started going to estate sales and garage sales and antique stores and malls, and it just came naturally. And Gary too, he and his brother would go out, they would go garage sailing and antiquing and had the best time. And did you do it before Fred, your brother? Or
he's got to come over to the mics.
He's got to come to the mics.
My big brother Fred was 13 years older, and he started me picking when I was 7 years old.
Aw.
And after he got me going on the first Saturday that I went out, if he wasn't able to go because he was working, I would take off on my bicycle with my pocket full of quarters and a backpack. I would go to every garage sale I could get to on my bicycle, fill my backpack, and when it got full, I would take it home and go right back out again.
That's
Isn't that
great.
cute? And he was adorable. He had a little crew cut and lots of red freckles, and he was quite adorable. Not that he's not adorable now, but that was pretty cute. So imagine Gary with his freckles, his backpack, and his quarters.
And since we're talking about him, there was a question in the chat just a moment ago
Yes.
asking how his hot rod goal is going. So it's a muscle car that he really wants to get. Gary's glow glass goal, if you saw in our most recent episode, has officially crossed $1,000, which is 10% of his goal.
Amazing.
Honestly, when we got the idea to do it, we said, oh, it's great. We're going to be doing this for the next few years. And here we are like 2 months into it, and we're at $1,000. That's
Thank you,
all
everyone.
thanks to you, wonderful people.
Vroom, vroom. Thank you all. Now, if I were 16 or 17, I could go out and buy 2 muscle cars right now.
Now, of course, I just want to say a quick shout out to Idaho Gem, Treasures by Gem, who's over in here. She is joining us on the stream, and yet she just worked the last 2 hours on our live sale over on
Thank you.
NSN. Chelsea, you are the best. Thank you so much. Please support her in her live sales as well.
Absolutely.
She is a gem.
She is. She finds the most wonderful things. She's the sweetest person. She's a professional auctioneer. I
Right.
love when she gets going.
Right?
She doesn't do that on her show usually, but she's just the best. So make sure Treasures by Gem. That's Chelsea.
Oh, and there's Julie, One Way Vintage, of course, in the room as well.
And Julie, we just gave you a shout out about your show on Thursday. You and that guy Mike. Julie, One Way Vintage out of Southern California. We can't wait to get out there and go picking with you.
Right?
We keep trying to plan it. We first talked about it, I think, last October when you were here in Las Vegas for our big seminar, but we got to do it. We just got to plan it. So
Can't wait for it. It'll be so much
you
fun.
You guys are trucking along. You guys are doing so great. You have the most beautiful items. So again, One Way Vintage.
And you know, it's interesting because we've talked about this before. Of course, we work in television as well. We've produced television shows for many, many years, basically since I finished college. And when you do that, you have a limited number of episodes that you're allowed to produce. And I think one of the things that's really fun about this, what we do is it's the sky's the limit. We say, hey, let's plan something a month out and we're going to go picking with somebody in another faraway place. We can do that. We don't say, well, we've got to get it done sooner. We've got so many episodes to do. 3 episodes a week. We get to just pick these fun adventures and just go off and bring them to you. And I love that.
We do. And we really strive to bring all of our knowledge about what we do with the shows, the TV shows. We try to bring that to Picker Road. So you have such a fun and enjoyable experience. And we try to find the most amazing treasures for you guys. And you guys have really liked it. And we can't thank you enough. A million, unbelievable. You guys are like our big extended family. And it's so great.
So Chad has asked, what's our favorite pick since we started the journey? And for me personally, until I find the muscle car, it was pretty much those guys.
Oh, yes. His
Aw.
glow glass finds.
He just found that was just about a few weeks ago. He was so happy. He was so surprised. My favorite. What is your favorite pick?
I have a favorite, and I would love to show it to you. It's actually in the other room. I don't think I could get around there and show you. Well, Rhodey, of course, but Rhodey's not for sale. As far as a pick, as far as an actual flip, it's something that I acquired a few months ago, and then this past week, a very special edition was made to it. So if you remember, we did a garage and estate sale mega pick here in Vegas, and I found, and I walked in, and the seller had a lot of Star Trek items, and I love. Everyone knows I love Star Trek. I'm a huge Trekkie, lifelong. I attend the annual Star Trek conventions, including the biggest one in the world, which is right here in Vegas, and it was this past week, so I was there. I go into this sale and I see he's got Star Trek stuff, and I'm seeing things that I've already had in my life, and then I see he's got 2 original animation cells from the original Star Trek series starring William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, and DeForest Kelley. After the live action show was canceled, they did 2 seasons of an animated series.
Wow.
And I bought those 2 for $10 a piece. They are worth so much more than that. It's based on the content of the cells. So if you ever find animation cells, it's really based on the content. So if you have like a shot of a random, no-name character walking down a corridor, it's probably not worth as much as, say, having Captain Kirk. Both of those cells are of Captain Kirk. In one of them, he's with Dr. McCoy, and in the other, he's sitting in the captain's chair on the bridge with Spock. So that is a dream cell to have. It's probably worth 100 to 150 on its own. I bought both of them. And then this last week,
How much did you pay for them?
$10 a piece.
$10 a piece.
$10 a piece, which is exactly what they were asking. I didn't haggle. Threw the money at them. But at the Star Trek convention this past week, I brought them to Mr. William Shatner, who is now 93 years old and still does over 100 convention appearances a year. The man is incredible. He is just nonstop. I brought them over to him and I had him sign both of them in beautiful gold ink right on the animation cell, right over Kirk, right on top of where his head is. And he looked at them and he said, "These are very cool."
I think for Shatner, that's probably
These are very
animated.
Cool. Yeah, that's the way he talks. So he talks like his characters always talk. He said, "These are very cool," and he signed both of them. And I'm going to keep one for myself, and I am going to offer one. I don't know. We'll probably put it in the pop culture section on Picker Road, but it's really an incredible piece. It was fully authenticated by JSA right there on site, so it's got all the provenance behind it. It's documented. Right, Barb? I would say they're priceless. The one that I'm going to keep, I'll have on my wall forever. I feel very fortunate to have had the chance to spend a lot of time with Bill. He says you can call me Bill sometimes.
Oh, that's nice.
I've had the fortune to spend a lot of time with him over the years. We actually had a lunch together about 8 years ago now in San Francisco, and that was
nice.
A Trekkie's dream come true.
Nice.
So that's my favorite pick ever. How about you?
Oh my goodness, there's so many. There are just so many. There are so many. In the past, when we were picking a place called the Music Academy of the West in Santa Barbara, they would have an annual sale called May Madness. And it meant that many of the wealthy people in Santa Barbara would donate great items. And they don't do this anymore. This, unfortunately, is in the past. This is actually quite a few years ago now. But we would go every year. And one year I went, this was probably a good 15 years ago, maybe even a little bit longer. So you were a lot younger.
I was going to those when I was a kid, though.
Yeah. So maybe it was even longer because you weren't that old. But anyway, we went and I found a bronze sculpture on a onyx base about that big. And I think we've actually showed it in some of.
That's why I'm trying to see if
you're
you
trying to see if you find it.
If I have it on
was
here.
A branch in bronze with 2 precious little chubby birds on it, all in bronze color. And it was signed. It is a Becquerel. He was a French, André Vincent Becquerel, a French sculptor, turn of the century. And I had bought it for $20. And that's what the price was marked on it. And when I got home and did the research, I found out that it was worth about $2,000. That was an amazing one. And I'm telling that one because that's actually one I kept. I love that piece. It's on my desk to this day next to my computer, and I absolutely love it. I've had many, many exciting finds where I've spent very little and had really good return on it. Now, for Picker Road in these past 18 months, boy, I don't know. I'm going to say something that I found and kept in Zermatt. We were just talking about Zermatt a few minutes ago on the other channel. I bought this little cat. He's a mid-century look. He's a repo. He's not actually, but he looks mid-century. He's black. He's got this big long tail, and he's a ring holder. And I just love him, from Switzerland. He's I call him my Zermatt cat. And I
He's
put
pretty
my
cute.
rings on him every night. He was one of my favorite finds over the sun. There's just so many.
After I got back to the hotel from the helicopter dropping me off on the Matterhorn, I saw it and I thought, that's pretty cute.
Yeah. Well, Gary and I were filming and picking down in Zermatt, so we were doing our job. So anyway.
And then, of course, as far as priceless, not for sale items go,
yes.
Rhodey.
What can I say?
This is one of the things about reselling and thrifting and being part of this journey and this family and everything that I think is just so much fun, because you can own an original Lewis Comfort Tiffany, or you can find a wooden hedgehog in a thrift store and you can get very different joy out of them.
Thank you, guys. Everyone's saying such beautiful things.
Rhodey has brought so much joy to us in just the funny, crazy wackiness of having, a wooden hedgehog on the journey with us. When we were in Chicago just a few weeks ago, we went up to the top of the Willis Tower, which was formerly known as the Sears Tower, one of the tallest buildings in the world. And they told us the tallest observation deck in the world, and they have the sky pods out there, which are these big glass
they call it
boxes.
the ledge.
It's the ledge.
And they said, I'm going on the ledge. And I said, I don't think so.
Rhodey convinced her. So
I did it for the channel.
It is 3-inch thick ballistic glass that can hold thousands upon thousands of pounds worth of weight.
I didn't eat that much.
And we went out there, we took our step out onto it, and it's a direct glass look down 110 floors, something like that.
It's
just
completely clear.
Completely clear.
You're standing on air.
And Rhodey came out with us, and we did a family of 4 photo with Rhodey.
However, I was still scared.
She was.
But
it was so much fun.
It was fun. And Gary has a pearl.
Well, Barb is asking if we kept anything from Paris and Japan.
Oh, yes.
And one of the things that we kept from Paris was, to my surprise, the people of Paris did not know what uranium glass was. And so as I shined my little black light around and found several pieces and explained to different vendors what uranium glass was, one of the things I found was a beautiful gold ring with a very large piece of uranium glass in the center. And so naturally, Harlene had to bring that home. And yes, Barb, she still has it.
Yes, he gave it to me. It was very romantic. Paris.
And of course, my only goal as far as keeping in all of that trip was to find a really nice European vintage camera. And at our first flea market, sure enough,
he found it.
Look at this. I'm going to bring in really close here. This is a Kodak Brownie flash made in France. Isn't that cool?
And that's Bakelite.
This is all Bakelite. Now, these are very easy to come across. They're very easy to come across here in the States, but it's all about condition. How good is the glass? How good is the viewfinder? How's the leather strap on here? And most importantly, how clean is it on the inside? Look at the lettering here in French. Look at how clean that is. This is a fully functional working camera. I'm going to actually click the shutter here and you can see. Do you see that?
Wow, I did. I saw that.
We cleaned this up. I took I took all the glass out and I gave it a very thorough cleaning.
Look how all the writing on the side is in French.
With lens wipes, all French there. Put it back together. Went to a wonderful vintage camera shop here in Las Vegas. And from that, we did our first roll.
You guys might have seen that video.
You probably saw that video. We did our first roll of photos down on Fremont Street, where we did things like that photo was taken. It was scanned. That's why it's on my phone. But that photo was taken with this camera. So this became one of my treasured possessions from that trip. And I actually have 3 rolls of film that we shot on the Chicago trip that have been sent off to be developed right now. And when that happens, we're going to be, of course, sharing them with you. So we really look forward to that. We shot Rocky Mountain National Park
That's right.
and the Chicago River cruise with the
The
architectural
architectural
tour.
cruise in Chicago.
So much fun.
That
Look at
was
this,
amazing.
the famous Las Vegas models on the Fremont Street,
Showgirls,
the
yeah.
Showgirls, the Golden Nugget. Really iconic location right here in Vegas. It felt like the appropriate spot to do the first
Because
roll
you
ever on that.
actually did not know you say in the first one, you did not know how well that camera would perform
Right.
until that.
It was a test roll, and I wanted to make sure that it would be a good camera to bring on that trip. Everything from the little knob right here you turn to advance the film to your this is for taking the photo, and then this one here, if you get a flash attachment and you pull that up, that activates the flash and allows the lens to stay open longer. So
That's great.
it's just a really incredible piece. Love it. So this was my Paris treasure.
So thank you guys for all the questions and all the hearts. It's so sweet. We so appreciate it. We really do.
And Faith is saying, my mom had that camera when I was a kid. That's the other thing about it that I love, that these things bring back memories for other people.
Well, that's what we're always striving for.
Yeah.
When you watch the videos and we do our recaps and you see what we found, we want that to hopefully spark a memory, hopefully a good memory, and some nostalgia, and that it just brings back a warm feeling of something from the past, or it could be from the present even, because a lot of times you hear me say, oh, this is mass produced, or this. Well, that's only because so many of those items are not of great intrinsic value, and I want to have things that I bring to all of you guys, our fellow journeymen. We want you to have things that are of value, and it doesn't have to be super expensive, but just something that has a lot of meat to it. And there's nothing wrong with things made in China. I mean, we just made 2 purchases at Home Goods for utilitarian items that we needed. There's nothing wrong with that. But when I'm out picking and thrifting and we're trying to gather treasures, I try to look for things that are a little more rare. Hopefully, handmade art, handmade pottery, that kind of thing. So I don't have anything against ever buying modern things. Some of those are becoming quick collectibles.
So a couple of questions here about the camera.
Yes.
The question was, how much is the film for it now, and do they still make the film?
They do.
They do. So there is a pretty much any town, any moderately sized town should have a vintage camera shop in it. Here in Las Vegas, there's a brand new one that just opened. If not, of course, you can buy it on.
You can see it in the video.
You can buy it on Amazon or on other places, eBay. But you can buy brand new film for it. You don't have to worry about expiration dates, and you get about anywhere from 10 to 12 exposures per roll, and it's about $20 a roll plus another $15 to $20 to develop it, depending on what you do.
It's a little pricey,
but it's fun
worth
for the
it.
It's
if
worth
you're
it
doing
for the art,
the kind of art photography that William
and
does.
I just want to say one other quick thing.
Yes.
Several people are commenting in there about the commercials that pop up. We are, of course, this is our job. We're on YouTube. YouTube controls the commercial breaks. We have no control over that. So apologies if it ever cuts us off while we're in the middle of talking.
We'll always
about
come
something.
back.
We'll always come back.
And you don't miss anything.
And hopefully you don't miss anything.
They come back, and they're really good at coming back.
Within a few seconds, there will be a little button on the right corner of your screen that says skip. And if you press that, it'll bring you right back to us.
Get you right back into the fun.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's across the board on all YouTubers. That's how they can keep us on YouTube.
Right. So that's how
it's our platform.
Exactly. And like, for instance, I can see in the corner here it says there's going to be an ad run for some viewers in about 30 seconds or so. So if that happens,
we'll still be here.
5 seconds, click the skip button, come right back, and have more fun. So thank you so much for being here with us and sticking through the commercial breaks. We have 120 people in the room right now.
Thank you guys so much. It's so good. So good to spend this time with you guys.
Susan is asking if I can get the flash apparatus for that camera. I actually have been looking for it. I found one that they could not guarantee that the wiring was still safe on it. So I went ahead and skipped on that.
Yeah.
One of these days I'll find it. And the cool thing about that is those are the actual flash bulbs that you would see in the movies, where you would you take one photo, the bulb is dead, and you have to grab like a cloth and you have to twist it off and throw it into a
Is
bag
that like Rear
somewhere.
Window?
Basically like Jimmy Stewart in Rear Window. He's
Remember that?
click, to scare Raymond Burr off.
That was so great. Who
Yeah.
loves it? I love that movie.
Yeah.
But of course, Grace Kelly with
Mm.
her Edith Head gowns.
Dinner from 21.
She was graceful Grace.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just can't believe it's been only 18 months. I feel like we've gone so many places.
Well, and the travel is, something that we've always done.
We've always traveled a lot,
but
we've always picked.
But for some
But
reason,
now we film it.
Yeah, the last year has been an exceptional year when it came to international and domestic travel.
Let's talk. So since we started the channel, we have been, of course, back and forth to Santa Barbara and to California many times. We've gone Santa Barbara, up the coast, all over Hollywood, Los Angeles,
San Diego.
San Diego. We've been in San Diego picking, and then I'm trying.
We went up to Reno.
We went to
Lake Tahoe,
Reno,
Carson City,
absolutely, Virginia City,
Dun, 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 dun,
Bonanza. So we did all of that.
Then,
so we did all that. But I'm just trying to think. Then, not long after we started the channel, is when we went to Switzerland.
Yes. So we started in Switzerland, and then we went to Paris, then came back, and then we had I went to Florida for a brief time, then went down into the Caribbean, and then came back to Florida and had a wonderful pic with one of our viewers, Laura, who has just become a great friend. She texts me all the time. We have lovely chats about items that she finds, and
I think we've become such great friends with so many people, and each and every one of you is like part of the family now, and it's amazing. We love to hear what you're doing. We love to know. I mean, I will be out picking and I will see something. I will think that, oh my goodness, so-and-so is going to tell me about that. They will want that or this or that. It's just so much how much you guys mean to us. It's amazing. And we have, as Will said, we've met, several people. We can't wait to meet everybody that we can as we go around.
And of course, fellow pickers, fellow YouTube pickers. So we took a wonderful journey up to Seattle, and we did all this picking in Seattle. And then we worked our way down the Pacific coast. I'm leading specifically to what Janice was asking in the chat.
Oh, okay.
When we were in Portland picking, we had a wonderful dinner with our friend Laura Caldwell. Now, Janice is asking, will we ever take a group picking out of the country with us? Now, that's certainly something we would love to do in the future. The first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to experience that with Laura. We're going to.
She and Jesse are absolutely masters at doing this. And we are so excited. We're so looking forward. We're going to be joining them on a fabulous trip to Austria and Germany for the Christmas markets. And we'll be doing that in early December.
The hills are alive with the sound of picking.
I can't quite do it.
With deals they have had for 1,000 euros.
But we're so looking forward to that. Laura's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. And to be able to go on this trip with them, we are so excited. We are so thrilled. Her husband, Jesse, you guys know, if you watch the videos, he's so funny. He's got such a great sense of humor. And they just do this amazing job. We've watched all of their travel videos, and we can't wait now to be part of one with them. So that will be great.
Now, everyone here.
And you guys are going to go right with us the whole time.
I want to say, I'm going to specifically ask 40 of you to do me a favor. There's 120 watching and only 80 thumbs up. So the 40 that haven't done it yet, please just give a little thumbs up. We really appreciate it.
It just tells YouTube that you like us.
Yes.
What did Sally Field say? You like me. You really like me. It's just for their algorithms. We know you guys like us. It's the state YouTube, so we can keep on going. And Gary has words.
When we were in Seattle with Laura and Jesse, we had
actually we weren't in Seattle with them.
Portland. I'm sorry, Portland. and it was at a old school that had been turned into a series of restaurants and lounges.
So fun.
And when you walk out into the hallway, it feels like you're in a school.
Right?
It was so
And
fun.
As I was walking around the different rooms, I was expecting to hear, Conlon, do you have a hall pass?
You're so funny. You're so funny. Yeah, I do have a hall pass, and I've got my quarters and backpack. I'm going picking.
That school, I've
That's beautifully done, though.
One of the things that's cool is I love, I've always loved YouTube. So I watch other YouTubers, and there's a very famous YouTuber named Ryan Trahan. He's got like 15 million subscribers now. He's another guy like Mr. Beast doing all that really big stuff. So he went to that exact same school in a video that came out like 3 weeks ago, and of course we did this months ago. And in the
he went to that school to eat.
He
didn't
and,
go to the
and,
school.
and to stay there. He went to the school to eat and sleep in the hotel, and then he went to the Fairmont in San Francisco,
Where we were,
which was
yeah.
our next stop after we went to that school.
Right.
So we went on this incredible journey, and then I found one of the the top YouTubers in the world did the exact same route that we did, and I thought that was
well,
so
that
much
means
fun.
our instincts are good.
We've got good taste, apparently.
The Fairmont, it was a bit of a splurge, but we wanted to stay there.
Got to talk about that.
There was a reason the Fairmont, it's on Nob Hill in San Francisco, and it is just one of those magnificent old hotels that you have to just stay in once at least.
Mhm.
And one of the big draws too is many years ago on a travel show, I had seen their famous restaurant in the, I don't want to say the basement, of the lower level of the hotel is a giant tiki lounge.
Well, it is the basement because that's where the pool was, and they
That's
wanted
true.
if they didn't want the pool up high in case it ever were to open up, it would flood the rooms.
Right.
So it got converted in the 1930s, I want to say it was.
I don't remember.
Because it's all Art Deco. If you look beyond the tiki stuff, you can see
Amazing.
these Deco walls and ceiling. But they decided to turn it into the Tonga room.
The Tonga room.
And every
tiki
night
lounge.
And every night.
Let's set the picture.
Yes.
So you walk in, and it's all like a tiki lounge.
Mhm.
Lots and lots of plants and foliage and tiki torches and straw and bamboo and palm trees, everything. And you walk in, and all of the tables it's like a big square, giant. They're all around a center square pool that has been converted into this area where they have a giant barge.
A tiki barge.
Tiki barge with a floating orchestra and a singer.
And they're doing the Great American Songbook
and they're
out there.
singing as the barge moves along. And every once in a while they'll have, like the thunder rain that doesn't really rain on the
not on the people, just on the water.
Just on the water around it. And then you're sitting in these tables, and it's all dark. It's dark and tiki-ish, with your flickering candles on the tables. And it's just fabulous.
So much fun.
It's so interesting.
Now, of course, if there was a mention there, I'm not familiar with the show you're talking about, the James Brolin series that would have been set there, but
It's called Hotel.
Hotel.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
All right.
in San Francisco. Yeah,
But of course,
it's really good.
if you're familiar with the film The Rock, starring Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage, the Fairmont is where they have that scene where he first gets out of prison, and Sean Connery has super long hair because he's been in prison for 30 years, and they take him up to the rooftop lounge and they cut his hair on, with the San Francisco skyline in the background.
Oh my goodness.
The Fairmont, of course, was host to multiple presidents. They called it the Western White House because so many presidents have visited there. And
it's all in the videos.
It's just so much.
We filmed everything.
Yeah.
And extensively, I should say. So you guys would feel like you have visited too.
Yes.
And so
we did that trip, which was we flew to Seattle, and then we drove all the way back down the coast and then down inland towards Vegas.
Yes.
We then domestically, we of course have visited Mesquite, St. George, all these fun little towns right around Las Vegas.
Right.
We have
Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake. Well, yeah. So then
we don't get to our
So-
trip we just took.
our big epic American road trip. We flew to Chicago.
Mhm.
We drove to Mackinac City, and then we took a
Ferry.
ferry boat, which the company has been continuously operating since the 19th century, taking people over to Mackinac Island.
With a Grand Hotel.
I'll let you take this one.
Oh, well, the Grand Hotel is one of my favorite places to go to visit. We have been there several times in the past, and we just knew it was time that it be part of our channel. It had to be part of Picker Road. And I think it was late May, I got word that one of our clients and a friend, Jane Seymour, the actress, was having a big event there. And I just knew. I told the guys, I said, this has to be.
Careful, careful.
Right.
Oh, yeah, there we go. That this has to be the time for us to go to Mackinac Island and to the Grand Hotel. And we did. And Jane was actually there celebrating a big announcement that
Mhm.
her new series that she films in Ireland called Harry Wilde on Acorn TV, the British murder mystery TV, was renewed for a fourth season. And this was a little event for invited guests to celebrate that. And of course, Jane, her great connection with the Grand Hotel in Mackinac Island is my favorite film of all time, Somewhere in Time, that she filmed in 1980 with Christopher Reeve. And that film has meant the world to us. Jane has been our client for, what are you showing now? Oh yeah, there's the Grand Hotel. Jane has been our client for 30 years. So she used to live in Santa Barbara. And that film is beloved by many people, including myself. So to be able to go there with Jane and be at the Grand Hotel, celebrating her accomplishments, celebrating Picker Road.
I know, right?
And we had dinner together, and it was just wonderful. And you take it from there where we went.
Well,
All around the island.
You mean after Mackinac?
Well, all around the island.
Oh, the
too.
island itself, the history,
It's amazing.
The fudge shop there, stunning.
He goes
make
right
it-
for the fudge.
They make it right there in front of you, and it's so good. But the truth be told, we bought more fudge for friends than we had for ourselves.
Absolutely.
The Grand itself, of course, Somewhere in Time. It was also the site of a very famous Esther Williams film called This Time's for Keeps, starring Esther Williams and Jimmy Durante. And the pool that she performed in, she did all those aquatic dance scenes, is now called the Esther Williams swimming pool.
But even so, the island has no cars.
There's no cars
It's
on the
all
island
horse-drawn carriages.
except for an ambulance and a fire truck.
Mhm.
It's so funny to hail a horse. It's like, taxi, clop, 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 clop. Where to, sir? Just really,
And
really,
again,
truly
you guys can go back and look at the video. We show everything. We show the whole island and our picking and how fun it was.
Absolutely. Now, one of the questions on here was, what state do you think has the best picking? That's really hard to say because it's so unique. It's so unique to each location. California, you can find movie memorabilia. Nevada, you can find stuff from old Las Vegas. You go to New York and you're going to find things that pertain to American history. You go to Boston, you're going to have stuff back to the Revolution. DC, political memorabilia.
Chicago was amazing.
Okay, so we finished on Mackinac Island, and then we drove down the coast of Michigan on Lake Michigan, and we did a little picking along the way. We went to Cadillac, which was this beautiful town. We went to Pellston, which had
quite a nice little groupie, Nick Pellston.
An amazing antique mall there that we were able to find some wonderful treasures at, including, of all things, Tanala and Talavera in the middle of Michigan. And
the cloisonne that I got there was really beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, Heather's saying New Orleans is her favorite pick.
We can't wait.
It's top of our list, I swear. We're going to get to New Orleans very soon.
Absolutely.
We went down the coast and we got back to Chicago. So Chicago picking was so much fun. The Wolf Flea Market. And this is funny because if any of you are watching and you were one of the commenters on it, we called it Chicago's biggest flea market, and everyone went, "It's Rosemont, not Chicago." It's
That's true.
It's next to O'Hare Airport, and O'Hare Airport is Chicago O'Hare. So we called it Chicago.
Chicago area.
Yeah.
Forgive us if anybody was insulted. Okay, Chicago / Rosemont.
It's like how we call Henderson Las Vegas. Because
Exactly.
they're connected,
They do. They absolutely do.
Right. So that was one of my favorite flea markets in the United States. My favorite of all time will always be Paris. But I thought the wolf flea was so much fun.
And we only did a portion of it because we had to get a plane.
We had a plane to catch. We maybe did like 20% of the entire market.
We spent 2.5 hours?
We were there for so long.
And we had to get a plane, or else we could have spent the entire 10 hours there or longer.
Right?
It was crazy. But what we did find is I found some gorgeous jewelry. Wonderful ceramics. We found some great things, and everything got packed up safely. And I'm so happy to say everything made it home.
Yes.
It was so good.
And for me personally, I mean, I got a lot of great stuff to offer on the channel, but as a Star Trek collector, as I told you,
here we go again.
I was flipping through a box of trading cards, and they were all random stuff: Star Wars, Star Trek, hockey, baseball, football. I'm going through it, and I pull out a Holy Grail Star Trek card that I've been looking for since the day it was released, and I got it for $15, and it's worth $200 to $300. Just a really unbelievable piece for my personal collection. So I was thrilled by that.
That's great.
Yeah.
So after Chicago, we flew to Denver.
And in Denver,
we had been invited. We put Denver on this agenda, on the schedule for this trip, because we were invited by the CEO Maggie of ARC,
CEO of marketing,
Maggie. And she had invited us when she was here in Vegas last year to please come to Denver, and she would open arms all of her ARC stores, and they are the largest. They're bigger than Goodwill in Colorado. They are the largest thrift store chain, and they are fantastic.
Barb, the mission of ARC is so close to my heart.
Yes, exactly. Barb knows.
When she explained ARC to us, we knew that it was going to be a priority for us, and she is just an amazing person. She has her own podcast. So if you ever get a chance to check out Maggie's podcast, it's called the Get Thrifty Podcast. And I'll say maybe check out the 2 episodes I've been on.
Yes.
That was so much fun, especially the more recent one, because that was the one where we talked about our experiences at ARC.
Absolutely.
So if you don't already know, if you didn't see the videos, let me tell you real quick. So ARC has 35 locations in Colorado, and they are about to open their first out-of-state location down in New Mexico. We've been invited. We'll be going. Got to check New Mexico off on the list. But what ARC does is they support people with physical and mental disabilities so that they have jobs. And every single ARC always has a representative of the disabled community on site. And it's just a wonderful thing to give empowerment and respect to these people.
They're such wonderful people that run ARC.
Yeah.
They're so respectful of humanity, and their stores are so clean. Yeah. Gary told Maggie they smell so good, and she really was very, very grateful to hear that, because they work very, very hard to make them a pleasant shopping experience for everyone. And they welcomed us there with open arms. They treated us like rock stars. In fact, they gave us coupons to shop with. They gave us all sorts of little gifts and things to remember them by. And they opened 8 of their prime stores for us, with everyone knowing in advance we were coming. And we filmed 8 stores in one day. We worked for 12 hours.
So I'm going to...
it was an amazing experience.
I'm going to do some math here. 35 minus 8, carry the 7, divide by 7. That means we've got 27 ARC stores that we haven't been to. Gee, are we going back to Colorado next year?
Probably. But anyway, that was an amazing experience. And you guys loved what we found. I think mostly everything's gone.
I've talked about it before. I collect these. I collect this specific type of Starbucks mug. They're called the Been There series. They just stopped making these, so they're going to become even more collectible. You ever see these in thrift stores? You pick these up.
Pick them up. They're good flips.
They're very good flips.
But he
Offer me first, of course. In the course of 8 stores and 12 hours of filming, I brought 5 of these home. Now, I only get them from locations I've been to, but there's so many of these, I have to, fill in the gaps of my collection. So we were there, and from there, we were going to head to Utah. I found the Utah one in Denver. I got the Denver one. I got the Colorado one. It was just perfect.
That's great.
Yeah.
But so we had a really great time in Colorado. Great people, great picking, great food, and
the Stanley.
And now we're going. Yes. Then we were able to take a few days and visit some very dear friends that live in Estes Park. Beautiful location up in the mountains. If you haven't been there, it's reminiscent of Lake Tahoe, or even Idlewild. It reminds us a little bit of that in California, but it is a beautiful, beautiful place. And we were just so grateful to go up there. And what is up there, of course, is besides everything else that's beautiful, is the Stanley Hotel.
And the Stanley Hotel, despite it having its own incredible history, the Stanley brothers, who invented the Stanley steamer, one of the pioneers of motor vehicles, it had a whole new life brought into it, a whole new life or a whole new death brought into it when it became the haunted hotel of a certain Stephen King novel called The Shining. So
now they did
not film
there.
The Jack Nicholson film there. They filmed the remake with Steven Weber there in the 90s, but it's where Stephen King was staying on a road trip with his wife, where he got the idea. He had a fever dream. He was sick, and he was not in a good place mentally, and he had a fever dream about a haunted hotel while he was staying there. And because this hotel was his inspiration, he kind of really paid it back to them. He became a real big advocate for them, and the money that they were able to raise through the publicity and the tourism of the book made this hotel that was coming up on 100 years old, allowed it to really kind of become a destination again.
And they refurbished
and they
a lot.
refurbished it.
It's beautiful.
It's really stunning. So we did the Shining tour, which is so much fun because they take you around to all the locations that Stephen King went to when he was there. But then also they have one of the original prop axes from that terrifying scene with Jack Nicholson chopping down the door with Shelley Duvall screaming,
"Here's Johnny!
Here's Johnny!" So somebody actually bought that at auction for $175,000 and donated it to them so that they could have it on display. And they keep it in an actual safe, like a big tall gun safe, and they do the password and then open it up when they show it to people and then close the safe again.
It's just fun.
It's so fun.
And we did it. We wanted to take the tour. We filmed the whole thing so you guys
go
can
back and
see
watch
that.
it.
Go back and watch it. It was a lot of fun. Now, we didn't actually stay at the Stanley because we were lucky enough to stay with our dear friends. They have an absolutely gorgeous home there, and we stayed with them. But we did all of Estes Park and the Stanley, and if you ever get a chance to visit Colorado and Estes Park, it's a wonderful place. So just beautiful.
DP is asking, is Dallas on our agenda anytime soon? So right before we started the channel,
exactly, we were in Dallas.
3 months, I think, maybe 3 months before we started the channel, we were in Dallas filming. We got to film at South Fork Ranch, where
we were filming the animal show,
where the TV show Dallas was filmed. We filmed downtown, and we actually did some picking for ourselves. At that point, we were just kind of thrifting and picking for ourselves. And I remember we were there and we were saying, "Oh, I wish we were filming this. I wish we,
I know,
because we had been talking about starting the channel up at that point, and there were a few events we had to get on the other side of before we could launch it." And I remember that.
Yeah, Dallas is great. So, everyone is so welcoming in Texas.
Yeah,
it's so wonderful.
So Barb is asking, what made you decide to start the channel?
Well, what you just said. We had always done producing these videos and so forth, these episodes and shows for other people. And we wanted to do it for ourselves. And I have always loved shows like Antiques Roadshow, all the picking channels, always loved it. Always, of course, because we had done this, we had done antiquing and thrifting and picking our whole lives.
Yeah.
So, and you had always said to me, we have to get into YouTube.
Yeah.
It's just an amazing platform, amazing venue.
Mhm.
And then we met different people, especially around Las Vegas and everything that were doing it, and just such wonderful people involved in the whole community. And it just came, we just had to do it.
Yeah. For me, several of the things that really propelled wanting to do this was some big finds that I had.
Yeah.
While we were in California and we were picking in California,
Yeah.
I acquired a very large lot of World War II memorabilia from the daughter of the actual officer that it came from, including his entire uniform. He was a Jolly Roger, which was one of the U.S. Bomber squadrons in the Pacific War. And it was his entire uniform, and it was immaculate. He had taken such good care of it up until he passed, and then she had taken care of it for at least 10 years. And I acquired that, and I acquired he was the navigator on the bomber plane. It was all of his maps. It was these stunning World War II maps, and I still have a few of them that I've kept for myself.
They were remarked.
They were all marked in crayon during the missions, like enemy positions here, don't bomb here, civilians here, that kind of stuff.
Living history.
And I ended up offering it all at auction, and a bidding war started. This was one of the most incredible moments of my life as a reseller. A bidding war started between
excuse me,
the Smithsonian Institute,
Mhm.
the Chinese World War II History Museum, the U.S. History Museum, and a private collector.
They belong in a museum.
Yeah, it's a little Indiana Jones moment, right? Most of the pieces, not all the pieces went to one place, which was really great. They went off in different directions. The Smithsonian got a few of them. The U.S. World War II Museum got the uniform, and then the other maps went between the private collector and the Chinese museum. And the Chinese museum was incredible because a lot of those were missions to back China up because they were on our side in the war. And so it just felt really appropriate to all the places that
will be preserved.
that these items went to.
Yeah.
And the feeling of that was amazing. And I said at the end of it, when the auction closed, I really wish we had filmed all of that.
Yeah.
You know?
It just kind of came together. The moment was right.
Yeah.
I mean, as filmmakers and producers, we had this ability to do this.
Yeah.
And as pickers, we had this love to do this. Why not combine the two? And what was very important to me from day one, from moment one, is that our viewers feel like they're going with us.
Yes.
I thought that was really important. I think a lot of that came off of the pandemic, that people were not able to do things anymore, and they felt isolated or alone. And that just broke my heart. And I never want anybody to feel like that anywhere. And now I know not everybody maybe watches our channel, because not everybody may be interested in picking and reselling and antiques and all that. But those that did, that were alone or isolated in any way, not anymore. You were going to come right along with us. We were going to show you everything that we could. We were going to show you this country, this world, and what we do, and have fun doing it. And our channel, we wanted it to always be positive. We wanted it to make people feel better, feel good. Now, we're not curing cancer. We're not doctors. We're not teachers, which are the heroes. But in a way, we can bring, hopefully, some joy, maybe some learning, share our experiences, and just have a good time. And everyone is included. We're an inclusive, fun channel.
And not only share learning from us, but we have learned so much from
Oh
all
my
of you.
goodness, I've learned so much from you guys.
I mean,
That's why when I'm out picking it, I'll say, please leave in the chat what this is and how, and you guys, without me even asking, and you tell me when I leave a lot behind, but you also have to remember, I can't buy everything. I try really hard to catch it all, and I'm learning. We never stop learning.
right?
The minute, I think, Martha Stewart says it best, the minute we stop growing, we're over. The minute we stop learning. So it's true. So I'm always learning. I'm not going to know every piece of glass and everything. And I've been doing this my whole life, but I have learned so much doing this channel. In these past 18 months, I've learned more than all the years previous.
Truly.
I mean, I knew certain categories, but I've just learned such a broad swath of picking things. It's just amazing. It really is. It's just so much fun to learn from you guys. You guys are so smart. You guys know so much. And that's why you're such a big part of this channel, because you do know so much.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's really, I've always called it the wisdom of the crowd.
Yes.
To have so many wonderful people at your fingertips, basically, to help you on a journey. That's why we said join the journey, because it really is a journey every step of the way.
Yeah. That came to me, and I said, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I want everyone to join this journey. And I said to William, William and I designed the logo. I came with the name, and I said to him, we have to have join the journey as part of it, because that's what we want everyone to do.
Yeah.
We say that for a reason. It's to be inclusive, and so that everyone feels that they're gonna
and a
have
few
a part.
of you did it.
1 million views. I can't believe it.
Well, we've been talking here, and there's 120 people in the room and 120 likes, by the way. So thank you all for listening to me.
Oh my goodness,
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me talk about what we were talking about at the beginning of the show, and then I want to throw a few more things out there too, so you understand what it meant in our poster art when we said giveaways.
Yeah, we're gonna do giveaways.
We're gonna do some giveaways at the end of this live stream, and they're gonna be pretty big, very big. So we are celebrating our 1 millionth view on Picker Road, which I think is incredible after only 18 months of doing this. I mean,
well, they're the ones who are incredible.
Yeah.
They've made it happen.
Yeah.
We've put it out there, and they have liked it, and they have joined. So we appreciate it so much.
So what we're going to do, like we always do, we are going to have some fun with trivia.
Yes.
Because I love trivia. I always throw those trivia questions out in episodes. And of course, we don't do a prize or anything. We just want to see how many people get it right. How many people knew Rear Window? How many people knew, And
you guys do. You're so good.
Usually mine are movie related, because I love movies.
Yeah.
But we are going to do 3 questions. And those 3 questions, if you email the answers to us, you don't put them in the chat because you don't want to give them all away, but you're going to email.
I'm going to email it, put in the comments.
You're going to email it.
Okay. She wants them emailed.
Yeah. I want you to email them to us. pickerroadlv@gmail.com.
Easy.
Pickerroadlv, like Las Vegas, @gmail.com. We put our emails in every single description. You are going to answer all 3 of these questions, and whoever gets all 3 right will be entered into a drawing that we are going to do. We're going to do our typical spin wheel, and that'll be in Sunday's episode. You have until
the end of the episode. You'll see it. We're going to draw it live.
Yep.
Not live.
Not live, but it'll be on the video.
But on the video.
We are going to draw 3 names. And you have to get all 3 questions right, and you have to submit your email by Friday at midnight. We're going to draw 3 names from everybody who gets it right, and those 3 people are going to win $50 gift certificates to pickerroad.com.
To spend any way you like on anything you like.
$50
each. each.
So that's going to be big. I'm going to put out the first question because I want to speckle these through. I don't want somebody to just fast forward to the end of the show. I'm going to put out the first question
Here's the
now.
first question.
So you write it on
They're
down
easy.
or make a note.
As long as you know us, they're easy.
And then in about 15 minutes, we'll do the next one. 15 minutes later, we'll do the third one. So, while picking in Paris, what river did we take a cruise down? That's question number one.
Question number one.
Don't email,
write it.
Don't email individually. Send all three in an email to us.
All three in an email.
And of course, include your name so we know
yes.
we know who you are.
Yes, include your name because your email may not have your name in it. Some people have different emails.
Yep. So at the end of this, send us an email with all three correct answers.
But that's the first. Say the first question one more time.
First question is, while picking in Paris, what river did we take a cruise down?
There it is.
Back to you, Johnny.
And don't put it in the chat right now.
Yes. So that will be very fun. We're looking forward to doing that, and you can really pick up some nice treasures.
Yeah,
for
we want
$50.
We want you guys to be able to go shop, have fun, and there'll be new stuff in there even by Sunday.
Yes.
Yay.
Okay, so
we didn't even talk much about Paris.
That's why. Yeah, let's get back to Paris.
Paris.
Obviously, not talking about that river cruise because that's the question.
No, we want to have what we did on that, but we had such a great time. And
Truly.
David, the elusive unicorn of Picker Road, David is, well, of course, our other son. We only have two boys, and he is William's older brother, and he is a very, very accomplished person in business. And he just doesn't like to be filmed too much, but he loves Picker Road. He loves going on the trips. He's not too much of a picker. He'll look at certain things that interest him, but that's why he kind of leaves it up to us. But every once in a while, you get a little glimpse of David.
He also, it's funny because knowing what we do, he gives me lists. You know, he'll give me like, if you ever see a Blu-ray of this film at a sale, or if you ever see, he loves
he loves the Golden Knights. He loves hockey.
Golden Knights memorabilia.
The two of them do.
Yeah, we have season tickets to the Golden Knights, so we go to games together, which is
the boys do
a really fun brother activity.
It's great.
It's funny. He'll give me like just random things to look for at sales, and it's been fun. I've been able to find a lot of things for him doing that too.
So he was, of course, in Paris with us, and you see him from time to time.
Barb says he loves hockey.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's it.
Uh-huh.
Exactly, he does, Barb, and we had a great time in Paris.
Oh yeah.
He did go with us to the flea markets and hung around a little bit and did that. He had a great time eating at all the cafes. And guys know we filmed it all. We just did so many things. We went to the Louvre. We all adored that.
Did you know there's a thrift store inside the Louvre?
There is.
Seriously.
I'm serious. We went in, and at the base of the pyramid down there, they have some stores, and there is actually a thrift store there. They're a little spendy, a little pricey, but we went in and we filmed it. We filmed it all.
I am putting, so DP is asking for our email address just to be written down.
I'm
going to put it in the chat right now for everyone.
It's super easy. We want everyone to know it. And it's always on pickerroad.com.
And in the
About Us description
of every video we post, it should be in there as well. So let me just throw that up in the chat as well. So
I'll keep talking about Paris. We went to the Louvre. We were there during Mother's Day, and William surprised me with tickets to the Monet Museum. And he and I went and had a great time. Claude Monet is one of my favorite artists. And we saw pieces there donated by the family, by Claude Monet's oldest son. And there were some pieces that I had never seen before.
His oldest son actually lived to be, Monet passed away at 89, I believe?
He was quite old.
Yeah, and his son had a very long life too. So when he passed away in the early to mid 60s, he donated his entire remaining collection because he was the last remaining original Monet of the family. So he donated
a beautiful gesture.
He donated the collection to the Musée des Beaux-Arts, which is basically French for Museum of Fine Art. and they purchased a home on Embassy Row in Paris, which was near where we were staying, and it became the Musée Monet. So it's exclusively his work. It is stunning how broad this collection is from his youth up until the end. And it was interesting because Monet had to have cataract surgery around the turn of the century, right around 1900. And the way in which they did cataract surgery back then could actually cause you to change your vision. So he went from having that very blue palette to having an almost amber palette. And the way that they've laid the pieces in the museum out is you see the progression of that. And then, of course, when he has the surgery, it becomes extremely amber. He went to painting sunsets a lot more.
Exactly.
And I thought that was just really incredible.
So it was such a wonderful Mother's Day gift because I hadn't seen so many of these pieces, and we just had the best time. And we filmed a lot of it.
We did.
It's
we
on there.
Did. Yeah.
It's on there. Of course, we ate at so many wonderful places, the outdoor cafes, the indoor cafes. There's so much delicious food. We went to a place we had been the last time we were in Paris, which was quite a long time ago, called Poulon. It's absolutely one of the oldest bakeries in Paris. It's been going for 100 and some years.
Yeah, and the same family has owned it the whole time.
And it's where many of the artists would go. And they were, of course, they were penniless, as many artists were and are. And they would actually trade their work for bread. And they have many of those works in their back room that's no longer open to the public. We were so disappointed.
When I was a kid, it was. We went back there.
And
I
saw
remember
them.
seeing the Paul Cézanne that was traded for bread.
So, but we did go to the bakery, and it had changed. Like so many things, it had changed after COVID, and there was no longer really a place to stay inside the bakery and eat or look around. So we got all of our delicious goodies to go, the best croissants in the world, the best apple turnovers you'd ever want to taste. We got little yummies to send home to family members. And then we took our delicious pastries to an outdoor cafe.
Like a block away.
And had some cafe.
We bought their coffee and I remember I had an iced coffee with this.
Delicious.
The whipped cream on top had to have been like hand churned or something. It was so good.
And we just sat out there and just really relished those moments.
Susan?
Yes.
We do not eat horse in this family. I'll say that.
What?
And I know there are some places in Europe where they do that. We would not partake in that. No.
I don't even see where you're.
Susan was asking if we ate horse while we were there. So please tell me you did not.
No.
Which we did not. No.
No.
One of the restaurants that we went to that was really something was an all seafood restaurant.
Yes, of course.
we did the lobster flight, which was really funny because this is one of those classic kind of international miscommunications that you would see in a comedy film, like Julie Andrews in a cafe trying to figure out what's going on. So we all ordered the lobster.
But we did that because
I want to tell this one. It's funny.
We did that because somebody told us to a friend.
Yes. This is so funny. We all ordered the lobster, and it took quite a while. It was like getting to the point where we're like, did they forget about us? Kind of deal. So the lobster all comes out on this big silver tray. There's 4 lobsters out, and they look exactly like they would if you ordered them in a big Vegas steakhouse, And we're all going, oh, we're so hungry. We've been walking around for 12 hours exploring the city, all that stuff. They bring out the 4 lobsters and they show them to us. And then the waiter picks up the tray, turns, and walks away and leaves.
Takes them away.
And we're all going, Ma!
They took him away.
And for the life of us, we couldn't flag anybody down to ask what's going on. So like 10 minutes go by, and we're all starting to get a little confused. Eventually, we go up to the front where the maitre d' who seated us, we say, and I'm saying into Google Translate, I'm saying, why did they take our lobster away? We're very hungry. And he looks at it and he goes, oh, huh. They cut it up for you. And just as I'm coming back to the table, they've got the plates all like spread out with every little bit of the lobster and the meat just ready to be pulled off of it. It was so funny.
It was so funny, and it was very good, but the whole presentation was affectatious, and we had only, as I was trying to say, we only ordered this because we were told by a friend, we have to go there to this place and get this dish.
Mhm.
And so we decided just go ahead and do it. But it was fun, and we have fun together,
Yes.
and we enjoyed it. And the four of us, David included, of course, did have that. And we had many, many good meals in Paris.
Yeah, there was a little, what was it, Cafe Alex or Cafe Alexi
Yeah,
or something?
Alex, I think.
Alex?
Was that it?
We had heard
It's in the video. We have to go back and watch our own videos.
so we had heard from a friend, who you've heard us talk in the past that we've worked with Michael and Kirk Douglas before. So a friend of ours told us that when Michael was filming that Benjamin Franklin series that just came out, they filmed it all in Paris, that every night after filming, he went to this Cafe Alex because it was open late. So the night that we actually got into Paris, we decided to go there, try it out.
It was very delicious.
I had the duck, and the duck was incredible. And I had it with an Aperol Spritz, which was the most European thing I've ever done, I think.
It was a lot of fun. It was very delicious.
It was amazing.
It was out of Central Casting.
Yeah.
They were playing French music. It was very late at night.
The
streets were dark.
There was a picture of Frank Sinatra eating in the restaurant on the wall.
And of course, it was subdued lighting with flickering candles on the table. So it was an experience. Then I remember we had croque monsieur on the Champs-Elysees. Mm-hmm. We had those as the famous sandwiches. They're like a fancy grilled cheese with ham, and a croque monsieur is just the cheese, the ham. It's usually a very delicious Swiss cheese, and then a croque madame will add an egg to it, and that's your croque madame. And those are everywhere. It's like that is. I think that's what everybody eats, because every single cafe will have that on the menu. And that was fun. We just had a grand time. We did. The four of us just had a really, really good time. And then going, of course, to the French flea markets, the items we found, the postcards,
the love
letters that I found that we offered on the channel. I think they're all gone now.
Clemence and Robert.
Yes, it was a turn of the century love affair between two young people.
Catherine is saying, funny question, how much weight did you gain while eating this wonderful food? That's the nice thing.
You walk it off.
You walk it all off. My watch that does like the exercise tracking, sometimes I think it's going to go off and say, you're on vacation, aren't you?
Well, we also eat usually only one meal a day. Maybe two. So you're not eating 3 big meals a day. We space it out. And if we did in the video, a lot of times like Gary and I would share things and stuff like that. And you do walk it off. But I am always in a fight to try to lose weight, because I can eat lettuce and water. And so I have to always really fight that. But we have to do it for our art.
And of course,
the channel.
The boeuf bourguignon.
Yes, that's what you had. That was near the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, that was something. All right, okay. Paris, enough of Paris.
I think it's time for another question.
Yes, I think question number 2.
Question number 2.
Question number 2.
Yes, there's a question.
And remember, you have to put these all in one email. Don't send us individuals. Put them all in one email with your name.
That's right.
And you have until Friday at midnight. In what city did we visit the Dale Chihuly Glass Museum? In what city did we visit the Dale Chihuly Glass Museum? Question number 2. In about 15 minutes, we'll do question number 3.
And I see a question here. It's from what your name. Well, the name that you have on there is Autism Awareness, and you're saying you're a newbie, and what did we do before the channel? Well, what we've done is
and still do
is we produce episodic television, 2 shows. One show is called Animal Zone. It's a animal and awareness and rescue and everything else good in the world for animals. We've traveled the world with our executive producer, Arthur von Miesenberger out of Santa Barbara. And it's absolutely a fabulous, fabulous show that does so much for animals. And you can, if you ever want to check it out, it's on so many different platforms.
Tubi,
And
and
it's on Cox throughout the United States.
and if you just go to animalzone.org, the thing that's really great is that the show is supported by wonderful organizations and charities, so we don't have to sell advertising for it. So
Well, we don't anyway. That's not our job.
What I'm saying is that the show does not require advertising to be sold, so therefore we can offer the episodes for free on the website.
Right.
So you can go back and you can watch every episode that's ever been produced of it.
Animalzone.org. Our other show that we've been doing for a decade is called Design Santa Barbara, with a fabulous gentleman out of Santa Barbara that has a big design company. And again, that's just a wonderful show that's on ABC locally in Southern California. And we're just really grateful, because this is not the same as doing, giant network television. We're not doing, I don't know, what are some of the shows that are even on now. It's not, this is a much smaller, but it helps keep us on the road. And William and Gary and I were also filmmakers. And our last film was Making Apes, the artist who changed film.
We've talked about that on the channel many times. You can go on Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it on there for free. It's on many other platforms. It's about the original makeup artists who did the Planet of the Apes film with Charlton Heston back in the 60s, and how they kind of ushered in a whole new era of makeup and special effects in film. And if it wasn't for them, then you wouldn't have
Star Wars,
Star Trek,
anything.
All of the great horror films of the 80s, all of the great television shows of the 90s and 2000s where makeup became an aspect of it. So,
but so much more than makeup too.
The
film morphed into such a cross-section of Hollywood from that era. And we interviewed for almost 5 years some of the best people in the industry, everybody from Michael Westmore to all the big makeup artists, and of course all the directors like Guillermo del Toro. And
we were very fortunate to actually have the last interview that Richard Donner gave before he passed away.
Superman.
Richard Donner started in the 1960s directing a little television show called The Twilight Zone. He did, of course, probably the most iconic episode of The Twilight Zone with William Shatner screaming, "There's a man on the wing," with the gremlin on the wing of the airplane. It was called Nightmare at 20,000 Feet. So he directed that and then went on to do Superman, Lethal Weapon, all these iconic
all the Lethal
films.
Weapons,
The Goonies, Scrooged. I mean, just
it's
really
endless.
Amazing films for a 40-year career. And we went down to his office, which was just covered in memorabilia. He had letters from Steve McQueen framed on the wall.
Steven Spielberg.
He had the glass crystal from the first Superman film that Superman throws and it turns into the Fortress of Solitude was in a case on his desk. And we just sat there and
behind the prop of the Goonies.
The pirate ship model
from
that they
the
used for the big shots. Just amazing.
So
we sat there and we interviewed him and he talked about that. So that was so much fun for 5 years working on that. And now we're working on another documentary while doing this channel. We like to keep juggling all the balls in the air. Sometimes I think of like those guys on the variety shows back in the 60s that spin the plates and then start spinning another plate. Then you have all these plates spinning.
Picker Road is our passion.
It really is.
It is our passion. It's what I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
It is our passion. And we hope that everything else that we do around the outskirts of it can just bring more content and more interest to the channel and just make it grow and grow and grow. And that's what you guys are making it happen.
Yeah.
1 million views.
1 million views. Can you believe it? And also thank you to all of you who are here right now. The 113 of you who have been watching from the start.
Oh, thank you.
It means the world to us that you've been here on this, and we love doing these lives. Feel very fortunate that we've had the time to do a couple of them in recent weeks. I hope we can continue doing them.
Yeah, we just want you guys to know our passion for this channel. It's incredible. It really is. I don't even have words how much we care about this channel, how much we put into this. and it means the world
Yeah.
when you guys respond to us and like it. And I'm impatient. I want it to grow. And of course, 1 million views. I can't be more grateful. I want to get to 10,000 subscribers as soon as we can.
Well, and that's only so that we can continue expanding the scope of the channel too.
Exactly.
Your support is what allowed us to, to do things like start the Glow Glass goal. And when we started that,
and that makes Gary happy.
We honestly didn't know what that was going to look like. Was it going to take us years to do it? Was it going to take us, a decade to do it? And the fact that in 2 months we're already at $1,000 now, when we see a piece that may be a little more expensive than we typically look at, we feel confident that we can buy it and we can put a small margin on it to help the goal, and then you can take home a wonderful piece of uranium glass and help support my dad getting a muscle car.
It's getting harder and harder to find.
Yeah.
And when you buy it in an antique mall, they've already, it's already at
in some cases. That wonderful mall in Arroyo Grande, their prices were very good.
We did okay on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and when Gary just showed his favorite picks, the 2 he just found several weeks ago, that was great.
Mm-hmm.
That got him a vroom.
Yeah, that was.
But we just thought that would be such an interesting journey to find how you can start at zero and get to a muscle car, from just this kind of hard work and flipping.
Well, and also, of course, we're talking about all the places we've gone to.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about what we started halfway into where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Pickerroad.com.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
To have a venue where we can offer you, because of course, we're in an antique mall here in Vegas. That's a lot of fun. Antique Alley in the Arts District, one of the most up and coming places in America. But we know that you all are around the world.
Right.
And you are not going to be able to fly to Vegas, pick up a single item you want to get from us and fly home.
Some people have.
Some people, but
for the most part, we'll come to you.
So in late November last year, we launched pickerroad.com. And now every time an episode drops, you can just go to pickerroad.com and we pull select items from that episode and we offer it on there. And if an item doesn't make it on there and you're really interested in it, you shoot us an email and we can figure out how to get it to you.
Yes, absolutely. A lot of you guys know we do that.
Yeah.
So, but that's Picker Road was a wonderful outlet, because in the beginning we would pick all of these items and nobody could get to them really. Mm-hmm. So that made it so fabulous that you can go right along with us, watch us pick these items, and then within a short period of time, they're on pickerroad.com and they can be yours. So, it's kind of a win-win. It's a lot of fun to be able to give that kind of satisfaction. So let's recap. So in the 18 months, we've been all over the country. We didn't even talk about Japan. But I will leave that for another one.
Yes.
But Japan was fabulous. And does that bring us to our last question?
No.
Not yet?
I want another 5 minutes. Got to keep watching.
He's hard. He is. He's the director, and he's on me.
And I will recap the questions again, just so that people have them on there.
But so we've been to France, we've been to Paris, we've been to Switzerland. In Switzerland, we went to Zurich, Zermatt, Geneva, and all around the little towns of Switzerland. It was fabulous. Paris, and we did a little bit the outside of Paris and the countryside going in.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have done Japan. You've done the Caribbean.
I've been to the Caribbean. I went picking in Curacao and Aruba, and then got back to Florida and met up with one of our wonderful viewers
who we already talked about.
We met on here, and we did picking in Orlando. Picking in Orlando, and some of the items that I found were just incredible. I found an original Star Wars action figure on the cardboard in the plastic.
That's great.
I mean, for $5, it was worth $150. It's an incredible piece.
That's great. So we've done so much of that, and all the places we talked about in the States, and from Seattle to Portland, Chicago, Denver, Salt Lake, California, everywhere, Hollywood. We've done everything. Now, let's talk about the future.
Yes.
The future. The next big trip for Picker Road will be at the end of September, early October, and we are going to Mexico.
Yes. We are going to
Cabo.
we are going to Cabo, Puerto Vallarta, and we are going to I've done the research. I'm hoping everything works out with it.
Fingers crossed.
We are going to an actual Televira studio to observe them painting, firing, taking out of the kiln, and then we get to purchase.
And whatever we find, it's going to be on pickerroad.com for you guys.
Yes, indeed.
So we're very much looking forward to that. And David, of course, will be joining us on that one. And then, as we've talked about, the next trip it will be in early December, and the Christmas markets. We're going with Laura Caldwell and her husband, Jesse, and going to Austria. We're going to Vienna. We're going to Salzburg, I believe. And then we're going to the Germany Christmas markets. So you guys, this is really unknown to us. We've never been there, and we've seen Laura's video of it. But we're really excited. It's going to be really something different, and it's going to be cold. So this is going to be cold picking. You see us doing picking in 100 degrees heat here in Vegas. Well, this is going to be the opposite. We're going to be bundled up in cold, but we are going to find the best treasures to bring home to you guys. You'll see it all.
I see your comment there, Gail. Thank you so much for saying that. We love that we can bring this to you and share this with you and bring you along for the journey. So that really means a lot to us.
Yes.
Kim was asking, what kind of foot traffic does the antique mall get? It's the Las Vegas Arts District. Like, if you have heard about this, the Las Vegas Arts District is truly becoming one of the top places in America for travel. They just announced that the Neon Museum here in Las Vegas is relocating to the Arts District.
Explain what that is to people.
I'm going to.
Okay. Da-dom.
She says that I'm that. She's like, no. So the Neon Museum, when a Las Vegas hotel closes, they typically donate their marquees or any famous statues or landmarks to the Neon Museum. So you can walk through this incredible yard that they've created with kind of a zigzagging trail, and around it you have the original marquees of the Stardust, the Sands, the Frontier, these iconic Vegas locations where the Rat Pack and Bob Hope and Elvis and all these amazing people performed at. You can experience just a little bit of that old Vegas feel, and at night they actually light the marquees up. So when you're walking through it, I've been wanting to show this on the channel for a long time. The problem is it's really hard to get a reservation when it's not 110 degrees. So one of these days we're going to get you out there and we're going to share it with you. But they just acquired the Mirage and the Tropicana marquees because both of those have closed in the last year.
Oh my goodness!
So they just announced that they're relocating to like 2 blocks away from where the antique mall is.
It's like a $30 million redo.
Yeah,
so it's going to be big.
Gives you an idea. Across the street from it is Esther's Kitchen, which is consistently now topping the lists of the best places to eat in Vegas. You have to get reservations weeks in advance. I mean, around the corner is the Good Pie, one of my favorite pizza places in town. We've shown that on the channel many times.
There's just so much going on in the Arts District. It's a very happening place. And it was just written up on Yahoo News.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, Gail. That's all the stuff around it. So then in the heart of all this, you have Antique Alley itself, which is a gigantic antique mall. And in there, you can find the Picker Road Boutique. It's hard to miss since we have a unidonkey. There's a giant arrow with big bulbs, kind of show. It's not flashing, but it's a big arrow. That's been a signature piece of ours for a long time. You found it picking in Southern California,
in Santa Barbara, about 10 years ago.
And anytime we've ever had a location in a antique mall, we've had the arrow, and now I think the unidonkey is on the journey with us. And that's where we get to put a lot of our treasures. It's a lot of fun.
The unidonkey we acquired at the Santa Barbara Swap Meet several months ago. And it'll be easy to find if you want to go back and see that video, because the thumbnail cover art for that video is Gary holding the unidonkey. So if you want to figure that one out, you just go back and look at it.
So Heather is saying that she loves Elvis. I'm going to tell you a quick little story, and you'll get to see more of this on the channel next
That's
week.
going to be on Sunday, isn't it?
I
Perhaps.
think it's Sunday. Yes,
Maybe.
maybe Sunday, because we just filmed it the other day. So you all have seen my best friend Tyler, who is a huge Elvis fan
And a historian.
presidential historian. He's been on the channel multiple times. He was here the other day. We had the fortune of spending a few days here in Vegas. And one of the things we did is we went over to the West Gate, which was the International, where Elvis broke the record for sold out performances. He did 700 sold out performances in Las Vegas from 1969 to 1973, I believe was the
Something like
that. You know, don't quote me on the exact numbers. But we went to this concert there. It was an Elvis tribute artist that had been personally endorsed by Priscilla and Lisa Marie before she passed away. And he was doing a wonderful Elvis tribute show. And at the end of it, he said, so ladies and gentlemen, this is a really special night for all of us here because this is the 55th anniversary of Elvis's first performance at the International. And Tyler and I had no clue. We had booked the tickets for that night. It was the night we were available to go to the show. And we kind of looked at each other and went, wow, that's so cool. And then he said, we're going to be offering a backstage tour where you can get into Elvis's dressing room, take the elevator he took, walk down the hallways he walked, and then eventually walk out onto the grand stage where he performed. And guess what? We did all of that. That's all I'm going to tell you. You have to watch Sunday to see what happens.
It was really good. Carrie and I, we decided to do something else. And we're going, oh no, we missed the Elvis tour. But hey, maybe another time. We'll pick it up another time.
Maybe on the 56th anniversary.
There you go.
Okay, so
we should do the last question.
We're going to do the last question. I'm going to recap all three questions here just so you have all three of them. Question number 1. While picking in Paris, what river did we take a cruise down? Question number 2. In what city did we visit the Dale Chihuly Glass Museum? Question number 3. Well, in Japan, we visited a very old paper store. What city was that store located in? If you answer all three of those via email, you email pickerroadlv@gmail.com by Friday night with those 3 answers and your name, you will be entered into a drawing, which we will then show on the Sunday stream. 3 of you are going to win $50 gift certificates to pickerroad.com.
To buy anything you want.
Anything you want. That could theoretically cover shipping if you wanted to. You could get something completely free on there. This is our thank you to all of you for 1 million views.
Thank you guys so much. Just do me a favor, read the questions one more time.
Yes.
I know if I do something like this and I'm trying to write it down, just one more time. Question number 1.
While picking in Paris, what river did we take a cruise down? Question number 2. Excuse me. In what city did we visit the Dale Chihuly Glass Museum? And question number 3. Well, in Japan, we visited a very old paper store. What city was that in? So it's 2 cities and a river.
2 cities and a river. Sounds like a new Hugh Grant movie.
So I just want to say on behalf of Rhodey and all of us, thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with us. I hope you weren't bored. We just love connecting with you guys so much. And we really hope one of our bucket list items is to go around the country and have meetups. And that will be coming in the next year or so. We're going to go to a certain area because we want to meet as many of you as we can. And if we never do, that's fine because we are still connected. You have joined the journey and you will always be connected. And we just appreciate it so much. If you guys have friends or family or anybody else who you think might enjoy our channel, if you could just, what do you call, send it out or,
Yeah, just send them a link.
Send them a link.
to our subscribe button.
and
All they have
yes,
to do is click the button
it's
and
free.
get on the journey
If-
with us.
If you think it might be fun. We want so desperately to grow this channel. You're with us. It doesn't matter. It's only numbers, but it just tells YouTube that we're viable, and they'll push it out more, and it keeps us going. It
Mhm.
keeps us rolling. It's just been an honor of a lifetime to share these last 18 months with all of you, and we are just getting started.
Yes.
We have so many things planned for next year, and we're so excited, and we can't thank you enough from the
So-
bottom of our hearts.
So all you have to do is join the journey.
That's right. Gary, from Gary, William, and myself, thank you. Have a great rest of the night. We'll have a video dropping on Thursday.
Part 2 of their mega pick. Of course, we had to, when we got word that this happened, we kind of had to jump in and do the celebration.
Yeah, it was a big deal to us. And then, of course, Sunday will be a great video. You'll have a little bit of Elvis in there. And-
Oh,
And at the end, we'll have our drawing, and you guys will see that we have our drawing wheel. So that'll be we'll do a race, a wheel. What do we do?
I think the wheel.
The wheel. He'll do the
Yes.
wheel. It'll be excellent. Whatever it is, our tech guy will do it perfectly. Thank you again for spending this time with us. We love each and every one of you. The journey is just beginning. We've got so much ahead of all of us. Thank you, guys. And we're going to see you soon.
Bye.
Bye, Rhodey. Bye, guys.